behind the wheel, ready to go. The first race here on this Friday, semi-final number 1, about to get underway. We go racing at the circuit of Spa-Francorchamps with Maximilian Benneker starting from pole position, leading our way down to the first corner. Isaac Price getting a decent start and trying to attack for the race lead. Dara McCormack in deep at the first corner as they start heading their way down the hill from the source down to Eau Rouge and Radion. It is advantage Maximilian Benneker. The odd shuffle in the background. RHG trying to defend just a touch there from Dane Warren, and Kevin Ellis Jr. looking all over the rear end of Dara McCormack. It's clean though through the first corner, Ewan. It's clean up and over the top of Radion.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot happening down towards Le Combe, though, for the first time. Benneker already going on the defensive from the G2 BMW behind, but they're going to stay mostly single file here. Not all the way, though. Dara McCormack looking to get involved, but it's Isaac Price around the outside, in towards Le Combe. Very close with himself and Max Benneker, who holds on, and Dara McCormack looks to take advantage as well. Slight contact between them, but Price holds on. McCormack still holding on in third.
Gustavo Ariel looking down the inside of Bonner House as well in the background, so that was all a little bit sketchy. Got Erhan Yovski here, who shuffled a little bit down the order. He was trying to get around the outside of Dane Warren and just mistook it a little bit. Mitchell de Jong with a big send though on Tommy Escard. Old teammates they are, making contact, heading through No Name. Contact again coming up towards Pouon, and it's Jamie Fluke behind thinking, look, we're letting all of these other drivers go. Let's get on with this, lads.
Yeah, it's physical back in the background, a lot of contact going on, but you need to get up through the order very quickly, as we know. But, of course, with the points on the line now in the semi-final and the knockout rounds, there's a lot more battling that goes on in the top 6. That helps the bottom 6 catch up just a little bit and gives them more chance of going through. This is going to be a hard race from here on in for those in and around that 6th position.
Saw a couple more beta keys appearing there on the screen just a little while ago. Again, keep your eye on screen at all times, as well as in the Twitch chat. There'll be beta keys slapped out there all of the time. Keep your eye on it, and maybe you yourselves can be driving around in Wrenchport like so many others have been added to the list of. I drove around yesterday and I embarrassed myself because I'm not very good at sim racing anymore. Dane Warren, did you know Spa has a history of being the fastest track in the world? I actually didn't know that, but obviously that was back in the 60s when it used to go all the way around. It used to be incredibly fast, going up through the Master Kink and all that lot around the back of the circuit. Fantastic. It's still absolutely rapid. The circuit's been around for over 100 years, and it shows that history every time we go racing. Fastest lap obviously being set by Maximilian Benneker. As much as, yes, you'd be like, it's the first lap set, of course it's going to go Benneker's way. I get the feeling he's definitely getting Benneker is definitely getting the fastest lap of this race, just because he's so fast.
Yeah, it makes sense, absolute sense at the front of the field. But let's see how it continues on. Dane Warren here under a lot of pressure from Erhan Yovski just behind. You mentioned that stat earlier on, 75% of the races he's done in ESL R1. Erhan Yovski has been inside that all-important top 6, and that gives him a good chance of going through to the final. This stuff isn't helpful, though, for those further behind. Gustavo Ariel monsters over Bono, who's there. That was very close between them, and a bit of a squeeze given to House actually, but Gustavo Ariel is through and into 8th place, but there's a big gap there to the battle for 6th.
Yeah, it's certainly growing. Erhan Yovski pulling away from all this grouping. Again, to explain what's happening on the tower as well, you can tell the top 6 have a little green check next to their name on the left side of the tower. What that means is those are the 6 drivers at the moment progressing through into the final. There'll be checks on the right-hand side as well. The little mark that's purple says that that's the driver that has the fastest lap. And then you will see red marks as well. We'll hope that it works. We had a bit of a problem back in Monza. Again, the new overlay is brand new for this season of ESL R1. There should be red checks displayed if a driver has a penalty. We'll go into that if it's required. Penalties can be time penalties that will be added post-race that could knock drivers down. It already caused its fair share of drama back in Monza. Maximilian Benneker was one of those that fell foul of the race stewards and was ejected from the final. He originally qualified to get through into the final and then was removed from it. There is Adrian from Race Control, who will be watching over gleefully all the action, because I will say so far, Ewan, I think it's been fairly clean.
Yeah, I was going to say, he probably doesn't have a lot to do at the moment, because it was a good start and a clean start for everybody, most importantly, as far as race control is concerned. So I think we're all right for the moment, but it's going to get a lot more interesting, a lot closer in these final 5 laps. 2 complete. Max Benneker still leads by half a second ahead of Isaac Price, who's beginning to struggle. McCormack, Kevin Ellis Jr., then Chinchik, Warren and Yovski all very close behind him now, and they're all creating a bit of a train. Yovski desperately wants that top 6. and he's closing in. He'll probably have a go up towards Lecombe now on this lap as well.
Well, I'm glad we looked at these two as head-to-head, though, before we went into this race. Dane Warren and Erhan Yovski, you know the percentage for Erhan Yovski is far greater when it comes to getting top sixes in the race, and that's what we're looking at in this at the moment. Remember that in 3/4 of the races that Erhan Yovski has done, he's finished in the top 6. Dara McCormack moves his way up into second position, and here comes Erhan Yovski, straight around the outside of Dane Warren. They go side by side through Lake Common up towards Malmedy. Around the outside, the RAG driver goes. They're leaning on each other as we begin the descent down the hill towards Ravage. Straight around the outside, Haniovski's going to go. He has to be brave here, Ewan. He has to try something as they come down towards No Name.
He's got to stay on the inside there, but couldn't quite do it. Couldn't quite get his nose alongside, and Warren made sure that he didn't there. But now this has become a fight for 6th place and nothing more, really. The top 5 should get away as a result of this. And by the way, McCormack did actually overtake Price there in towards Lecombe on that occasion. However, further behind, this is where the battle really is. Yojovski's not going to let this one go easily. Warren's obviously going to defend for his life from here on in. There's going to be no exchange of positions, and that's going to mean the likes of Bono House, Gustavo Ariel, Tommy Usgaard, Mitchell de Jong and Jamie Fluke, who round out the top 12, are going to catch up. There you can see the 5 of them in the background. They're already catching. One more bit of battling and they're going to be right there.
Yeah, certainly. It's kind of, again, this is what we said before about ESL R1. When it comes to battles, this is always the hottest part on the track when it comes to battles. That battle for 6th position, you're either progressing through and scoring more points, or you're not going any further in today's competition. It is highly dramatic, and that's what makes it so much fun, so scary for a lot of these drivers. Every grid is ridiculously competitive, and every grid has drama when it comes to someone being knocked out. There will always be drivers that get knocked out that will say, yeah, they should have been inside the top 6. Guess what? There's 12 drivers on this grid that should be inside the top 6. It's just how close it is. And again, a new thing for this season, there are points paid out for every single position. So we do tend to see a bit more drama. Dara McCormack going for that position on Isaac Price. That probably wouldn't have happened last season. It's one of those things that's changed. It's one of those things that we've heard from you in the surveys and the feedback that we've all received from you, and how we've changed this championship. And again, we will continue to adjust things in due course, making it more exciting. We want you to be a part of the journey as well, as Benneker might see a little bit more pressure on his shoulders. Here comes Kevin Ellis Jr. and Isaac Price.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, by the way. This kind of stuff wouldn't have happened last time around, last season, but because there are now points on the line, they are fighting. That was close. Kevin Ellis Jr. and Isaac Price making a small amount of contact there through the chicane, but the Apex driver is now through, and Price is still beginning to struggle. I do still see a situation here where Price ends up outside the top 6. I think his qualifying pace is very good, but quite a lot of times this season we've seen him clinging on to positions, we've seen him having to defend quite a lot. I just don't think the race pace is quite as strong for Price as those around him who seem to be able to stay at that same level. Price seems to drop off as he goes through this race.
Yeah, now that may actually be a little bit of a car thing. I know there's everyone that's driving a BMW in ESL R1 being like, it's the BMW, it's the BMW, it's the BMW. It potentially is a little bit of the BMW. They're all fantastically equal. Here's a look at how Dara McCormack made his way through on Isaac Price, straight down the inside. Isaac's smart enough to not fight it. He's thinking, look, I've got to play long game. Yes, I know we're all in it for the points, but I want to be in that top 6. I want to move through. The BMW... I will say, I agree with what Moritz Sterner said. I've heard it from a lot of drivers. The BOP is genuinely, as far as I'm aware, it's better than it's ever been in ESL R1. It's been getting better and better and better. Round 1 of the season, round 2 of the season, it's all incredibly close. The only slight thing is when it comes down to the car, the BMW wears its tyres slightly more. It is as fast over the one lap, but it drops off a little bit more in the race. And I think that's what we're seeing a little bit here from Isaac Price. You've got to be very, very careful on the tyres. I wonder how Yuri Toman would do in a BMW. I'd still maintain that Yuri Toman, I think, is probably the best on his tyres in the entirety of ESL R1.
Well, that's up for debate. I think a lot of drivers will argue with you about that, but...
47 drivers offended immediately. Yes,
exactly. They'll all make their own case, I think. But yes, he is strong at that particular aspect of this. But they're short races, and you might think, you know, tyre wear not that key, but clearly it is taking a bit of a role. And let's not forget that BMW won the first round of this series at Monza with Sebastian Joe, of course. So you just... it's very well balanced. balanced, and we're not saying the BMW is particularly weak, to be honest, because it's not, as showcased in round one. Round the outside for Marcel Cintic, then in towards the chicane. That's into 4th place now for the spring season champion. Isaac Price is in trouble here. He's slipping and sliding, and he needs to stop this before it goes too much further. And I think Erhan Yoski's realised this. He's staying behind Dane Warren as a result, hoping that he might be able to pass Isaac Price a little bit easier than he's finding Dane Warren to pass at the moment.
Yeah, I think Erhan Yoski will be very aware as to what's going on. He'll be playing the game right now and thinking, right, if I don't fight Dane, Dane might be able to get past Isaac, and then I might be able to get past Isaac in turn. The thing is, we've seen Isaac Price not fighting Dara McCormack that hard, not fighting Kevin Ellis Jr. that hard, not even fighting Marcel Cintic really as hard as we maybe expect. That will become increasingly desperate. There will be 2 laps after this one. He will fight hard with Isaac Price. He will, he will himself. He will fight hard with Dane Warren. He will absolutely fight hard with Erhan Yoski. There's the top 3 in our race, though. The right-hand side is Maximilian Benneker, our race leader. In the middle is Dara McCormack, the driver that's currently sat 2nd in this race, who is under a little bit of pressure from his fellow Mercedes in Kevin Ellis Jr., who's on the left.
Yeah, and there is Erhan Yoski, who still needs to play. Still looking relaxed at this stage, still under control. He knows what he needs to do here, but he's running out of laps to do it. 2 more at the end of this one, and for now, he's not in a position which will see him advance to the final coming up a little bit later on tonight. In towards the final chicane they go now, and on the other side as well. Wonder what role Marcel Cintic is going to have in this one as well, because he's at the front of Isaac Price at the moment. Does he try and slow down Price at all at this point? Don't think he's going to play too much of a role there, but you just never know. And Yoski's got Bono House not far behind either. That could be a problem for him if he's trying to look forwards and backwards at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot to juggle in races like this. And to be fair, as much as you might be thinking of, what position do I need to be in to do this and what do I need to do to that? Don't focus on it. Just drive, just race, just get every single position you can. Don't worry about it. You'll see it at the checkered flag where you are. Here comes Erhan Yoski. There was a little bit of a mistake over the top. There's also some action ahead of all of this. Straight down the inside, Erhan Yoski's going to go. This is the battle for 6th position. He's going to send it in on Dane Warren. He's going to try and make his way through. It's not going to work on this occasion. There was drama up ahead of all of this between Ellis Jr. and Dara McCormack. They don't switch over, and it's just allowed Maximilian Benneker to check out. Here comes Yoski again. Not through on this occasion. This could be perfect for Isaac Price.
It could be. He's just having that pressure alleviated at the moment, and for now he is holding 5th place quite well and quite solidly as well. Yoski's now running out of time to do this, and was that the smartest call? I think it was a good idea, to be honest, because Dane Warren wasn't looking to go for on Isaac Price that time. He was looking to wait just a little bit, so we'll see how Yoski plays it on the last lap. Surely it's got to be all guns blazing, try and get through as much as you can, but further up in front, Dara McCormack was edging Kevin Ellis Jr. towards the grass there. Don't know how that all transpired, but Kevin Ellis Jr. wasn't able to get through.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard racing, big defence going up towards Lecom. We didn't get a good look at it, but maybe Dara McCormack a little bit over the line when it comes to defence. Again, race control, I will remind you, will look at things and they can give out post-race penalties. And just because you're not fighting for 6th doesn't mean you can't get penalties. Those fighting higher up the order could well receive stuff there. Again, a little bit of a look at race control, looking over a couple of things. There will be increasing amount of things to look at through this race, and those defensive moves, I saw them yesterday. Quite a lot of them got like a 3-second time penalties post-race, and it caused quite the stir when it came to the post-race finishing results. So be careful when it comes to being a bit too aggressive in your defense.
Yeah, and attack as well, of course. You've got to be careful. I noted that as Erhan Yoski went around Bruxelles or Rivage or whatever you want, there on the back of Dane Warren, he was just pushing the co-anda driver a little bit. Not a great exit from La Source that time, though, for the Macedonian. He could be in trouble now because we're on the final lap. The top 6 look relatively set, although Dane Warren might give Isaac Price a bit of a hard time. Now, is he going to just consolidate the place and take his route to the final, or is he going to have to hold on? The Audi's very strong, though, looking for a move here. Erhan Yoski on the final lap.
Yeah, let's see if he's going to go for it. Of course he's going to go for it. He's got nothing to lose. He's sending it in. Once again, the squeeze coming over from Dane Warren. He was really slow over the top of Radion, and the Macedonian sends it around the outside of Dane Warren. Fantastic move from R8G, looking to have more drivers progressing. Again, they've looked so fantastic. They've got all 4 drivers moving on in this. They've moved on from the knockout phase into the semi-finals. They had 3 drivers move from the semi-finals into the final last round. I mean, they just keep looking so strong, so consistent. That was a great move from Yovski.
And surprised really as to the ease with which he did that. I don't know whether we can give Yovski credit for that or whether Warren made a mistake or what it was, but a bit surprised really. What can Dane Warren do now in this final couple of moments of this race? He could be on his way out. He was looking at a final, possibly he might be regretting his decisions not to attack Isaac Price a little bit harder, because right now he's not making it through, and I don't see a position where he does at this point. He's going to have to dive at the very end, but I don't think he will do. I don't think he'll be close enough.
We said about the head-to-head when we were looking at their statistics, and Erhan Yovski's statistics of finishing inside the top 6 was 75% coming into this, far higher than Dane Warren's. We're seeing that now, the maturity that the Macedonian has on his shoulders. 2-time rFactor 2 GT Pro Series champion, as well as champion in many other things. He's got a lot of accolades in the world of sim racing, same as this guy, Maximilian Benneker. I mean, he is a master around the circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. He'll come through the final corner, and he'll come up towards the line to take yet another victory, 2 in a row for Maximilian Benneker. He won in the knockouts, and he has won here in the semi-finals as well. Like you say, looking really strong. A record-breaking lap yesterday, not quite that so far today, but let's be honest, he could well be setting another record-breaking